Hello, I am Luke Logan for my interview, and this is my grandpa, Jack Logan, and I'm gonna ask him some questions about the Vietnam War and how he was affected. So, how old are you at this moment?
At this moment,
Yes,
78 years old.
78 years old. Okay, so during the Vietnam War, you were in about, how old were you? Around the 20s?
22.
22, something like that, alright. And at the moment, where do you live?
I live in Bloomington, Indiana.
Okay. And but where were you during Vietnam?
Bluefield, West Virginia.
Bluefield, West Virginia. Doing what?
I was in the National Guard when we got called up.
Okay. Okay. And explain to me your Army career.
My Army career, I started in the National Guard when I was around 16 years old.
Really?
And served in the National Guard and in Michigan. I served it in Indiana, National Guard, and then I was in West Virginia National Guard.
Okay. And so you were in the Army for how many years?
6 in the National Guard, 1 active duty at Fort George G. Meade, Maryland.
Okay. All right. So explain to me a little bit about Agent Orange.
Agent Orange was what we sprayed in Vietnam, and it affected not only who we sprayed, but who we sprayed on. I know Americans who got sprayed with Agent Orange, and it's affected their heart, all their inner organs, like kidneys, and like that, give them heart disease, and
Do you know anybody, any of your friends that were affected?
yeah, in Naples, Florida, my good friend across the street, who was a Silver Star Award winner, and he's dying with Agent Orange.
Really? What does he have?
Huh?
What does he have?
What do you have?
Yes.
It affected his whole body, his heart,
It's hard.
his liver, just everything.
Really?
Kidneys.
Kidneys, affected all of his body. And what was a shame about it is our politicians told lies about Agent Orange, that it did not affect any servicemen whatsoever. And of course, after a lot of them died, they said, oh, maybe it did.
Really?
And now they're getting treatment for it. But it's too late for anybody to get treatment because it's just eating their body away.
On that subject, did media play a role? What did you hear in the newspapers and from the war?
It showed demonstrations about the war and filled full of lies, and people were cursed at when they come home, soldiers were, and people hated them.
Really? And how did you feel about the troops?
I love the troops.
Those troops?
I hate the hippies that were against them.
Mm. And so explain to me, who's your favorite president during the war? I know there's multiple.
Well, I think Johnson was.
Johnson?
I know he wouldn't run for another term when he could have, but he would have helped things out.
Mm.
He was a good president, but the press was after him and wouldn't let him alone, and he just had enough of it. He just called it quits.
Mm-hmm. So how was Kennedy during the? How did you feel about it?
Never had much use for Mr. Kennedy,
Yeah.
President
Well,
Kennedy.
what's up with Kennedy?
Huh?
He's a good guy, don't you think?
He was a good guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of women liked him. he was more busy running after the skirts than he was.
Oh, like Marilyn Monroe. All right, that's off subject.
Huh?
So,
Okay.
so did he do good
Kennedy?
protecting us troops, the troops?
We didn't really hear much about Kennedy. But no, he wasn't. He treated the military okay.
And so why was Johnson so much better than him?
Johnson didn't take no SHIT
Yeah.
off of anybody. Okay?
Alright, I understand.
He
All
was
right.
straightforward.
Yeah. And so, were you drafted?
No, I wasn't. Well, yes, I was called up after my duty, 6 years in the National Guard. I was called up for a tank commander at Fort George G. Meade.
Okay. And so, how did the drafting system work?
In those days, they started pulling out all the number. They give you a number. You picked a number. Like some people pick number 1, some people pick number 6, some people picked 132.
And are you talking about your social security number, or
No, it was a number in the lottery.
Okay.
And then they draft all the number 1s, all the number 2s, all the number 3s,
Wow.
and up through, a lot of times up through 150. And then the next year they'd start over again. So a lot of guys that had, like, say number 25, they were certain that they were going to get drafted. So they would enlisted, and then they would get a better deal out of it. They could pick what company they wanted to go into, or the Navy, or the Air Force, or what. So they would, enlist.
Yeah. And so, how do you think we could have won the war? What could have you changed? What do you think we could have changed?
We could have tried to win it.
How's that?
We could bomb.
Bomb. You were good on that. You were good on the just bombing the.
We didn't really try.
Yeah.
Because
of social media, you think?
Yeah, because you had the cameras and the newspaper following everybody around. And we couldn't operate the way the service should operate. We didn't have the George G. Patton mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we'd had his Patton mentality, we'd have been out of the war.
Do you think it was a fair fight?
Oh, no, because they had.
Ho Chi Minh Trail and everything?
Yeah, we couldn't bomb Hanoi.
Why not?
Why not? Because they had their missiles there. And we couldn't bomb their missiles because that wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
So we didn't bomb their missiles. We weren't allowed to go in and bomb Hanoi.
And so, if my dad was born in 1961, so he would have been, if the war started in 54, so he was born during the Vietnam War. How was he affected at all?
His mother was.
His mother was, and how was
his mother?
Yes.
Well, they took all the National Guardsmen out of the Bluefield, West Virginia, and we all had to leave, like your dad at home and my wife. They didn't have any income at all. My pay was $180 a month for 4. That's not much. After I sent it home $100, and the wives had to all go to work or get a job.
What was my grandma's job?
She worked at Kresge's, or which is now Kmart, in the dollar store. She had to work the year I was gone. Make car payments. What else did you make?
House payments.
I guess you made trailer payments, didn't you? So she had to do all the payments. And she did. If she wouldn't have actually moved home with her parents, you couldn't have really made it.
Okay. So
So it affected the women more than it did the men,
really,
because we were put up in barracks and tents and fed
Wow.
3 square meals a day, and
uh,
we lived a good life, you know, but not the women.
and so do you know exactly why we were over there in Vietnam?
No, not really, but it was something that had to be done,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And that's where our president nowadays is going to go back in about a couple months.
Yeah.
He's going back to Vietnam.
Who do you want to be president?
Oh, I better not say.
All right.
I better not say. You know, it would make it political.
Yeah.
But I like his golf courses.
No, alright. So just one last question. Just give me for the final question, just give me your all-around view on the Vietnam War.
Well, it was a war that the politicians got involved in,
Mm-hmm.
rather than letting the generals run it.
Gotcha.
And that just prolonged. We wanted to be well liked over there. The politicians wanted the Americans to be well liked over there, and it doesn't work when politics go into it. Just like today, it doesn't work in today.
And I think that wraps it up. I learned a lot in this interview. So, and I just want to say thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
This is Luke Logan and my grandpa Jack Logan. Peace out.